Some wars are never actually declared. They're fought every single day, not on a battlefield with soldiers and tanks, but in the shadows with spies, spreadsheets, and stories. So today, we're going to dive into the decades-long covert rivalry between India and Pakistan. It's a conflict that goes way beyond the border, waged on multiple, unseen fronts that really shape the destinies of both of these nations. All right, so here's what we've got lined up. We'll start with this idea of a war beyond borders. Then we'll explore three hidden battlegrounds: the world of spies, the modern war on currency, and the battle to control the narrative. And then we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways from this ongoing shadow conflict. First up, let's set the stage for this multi-front conflict, a war that's fought almost entirely out of the public eye. And you've got to understand these unseen fronts. They often have a much more direct and sometimes devastating impact on national security and public perception than any traditional kind of warfare. They're literally designed to destabilize, to demoralize, and to defeat a nation from the inside. Okay, so let's jump into our first front: espionage. We're going to explore its immense human cost through the absolutely incredible story of one of India's deepest cover agents, a man who became a legend. Just look at this timeline. It really shows you the dramatic and ultimately tragic arc of Ravindra Kaushik's life. He was this promising theater artist, right? His talent for performance was actually spotted by India's intelligence agency, known as RAW, and that led him down a path from which he would never, ever return. I mean, can you even imagine living a complete double life? In his early 20s, Kaushik crosses into Pakistan, enrolls in law school, and joins the army, all under a totally new identity. His cover was so perfect that he even married a local woman and had a child, with absolutely no one suspecting who he really was. And his contributions, they were absolutely monumental. As a major in the Pakistani army, he had access to top-level secrets. The intelligence he was sending back to India was so vital, preventing attacks, revealing nuclear secrets, that the prime minister at the time, Indira Gandhi, secretly gave him the title the Black Tiger. But, like so many stories in the world of espionage, this one ends in tragedy. He was betrayed by another agent and captured in 1983. For 2 years, he was brutally tortured, but he never broke. After his capture, as is standard protocol for deep cover agents, he was disowned by his own country. It was from a prison cell, facing a life sentence, that he wrote these absolutely heartbreaking words. All right, so we're shifting gears now. We're moving from that classic war of spies to a much more modern battlefield: money. This is a front that's designed not just to gather intelligence, but to cripple an entire economy from the inside out. And right at the heart of this economic war was this ancient trust-based system for moving money called hawala. And for decades, two Pakistani brothers, Javed and Altaf Kanani, were its undisputed kings on a global scale. You can think of their network as this giant, sophisticated washing machine for dirty money: funds from terrorist groups, drug money from cartels, cash from crime syndicates. It all flowed through their system and came out clean on the other side. And the sheer scale of their operation, it's just staggering. At their peak, they were laundering up to $16 billion a year, using their network to fund terror and destabilize economies with a real focus on India. So that raises a huge question, right? How do you even begin to fight an enemy like this? Well, after one of the brothers, Altaf, was captured in a US-led sting, India decided to launch a kind of surgical strike. Not against a person, but against the very foundation of the operation still run by his brother Javed: high-quality counterfeit Indian currency. Well, the answer came as a single, jaw-dropping move broadcast across the entire nation: demonetization. In one night, the Indian government declared its 2 largest currency notes totally invalid. This instantly turned Javed Kanani's vast stockpiles of expertly crafted fake notes into worthless stacks of paper. Suddenly, with his entire financial empire just gone, Javed became a huge liability to the powerful people he served. And just 26 days after that announcement, he was dead. His mysterious fall from an under-construction building remains a very dark, unsolved chapter in this shadow war. Okay, let's move to our third and final front for today. This is a battle that's not fought with spies or with currency, but with perception, with information, and with stories about the future. Now, to really get a handle on this, we're going to look at something pretty unique. It's a real broadcast from Samachi TV in Pakistan. What's different is that it's a projection, a simulated news report from the future. April 10th, 2026 to be exact, and it's designed to shape how people see the country's role in the world. So, what's so fascinating here is the powerful story they're building. In this imagined future, Pakistan is the central, indispensable peacemaker on the world stage, hosting talks between superpowers and getting praised by global leaders for stopping a major war. And then you have the flip side of that coin. In direct contrast, the broadcast paints its main rival, India, as diplomatically weak and facing global isolation. It's a narrative where India's policies have failed, its influence is gone, and it completely flips the existing geopolitical story on its head. Okay, so we've looked at three really different stories, right? A forgotten spy, a criminal financial empire, and a news report from the future. What does it all mean when you put them together? This table, I think, lays it out perfectly. It shows you the evolution of this shadow conflict. It begins with the classic front, espionage, which relies on individual human courage. Then it moves to complex economic warfare, and now it's shifting to the modern battle to control information and perception itself. And look, this really matters because these covert tactics, they aren't just sideshows anymore. They are the main event. They shape our economies, our security, and even the future that we're told to imagine for ourselves. Which kind of leaves us with this one big, provocative question. As warfare keeps evolving, are the most decisive battles, the ones that truly matter, no longer fought with guns, but with spies, spreadsheets, and stories?